What is going on? It's Alex coming back at you with another video. And today, continuing my Mock the Mock series, we're going to be looking at CBS's brand new 2025 NFL Mock Draft. If you are new, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are not new, again, just if you guys haven't seen yesterday's video, you can go follow me over on Twitter to see more details, but I was involved in a pretty brutal accident. So I'm very grateful to be here, in a lot of pain. And under concussion protocol, it's why I don't have my face light on in this, and that's also why I'm trying to do shorter version videos to get you guys some content, get you guys some analysis, but also be able to keep my brain as up to shape as possible. The neurologist said I can do up to 30 minutes, but also kind of like feel how my brain's doing. After yesterday's video that was 20 minutes long of recording, I was really starting to feel it. So that's why I'm kind of trying to reel it back a little bit, but also, I love you guys and this is my passion. So I want you guys to at least experience it as much as possible. So thank you guys so much for the support that you guys are giving me. Let's get on and get into this. Starting out with the number 1 overall pick. If you guys can't tell, I've been looking at cars with all the ads. You got Travis Hunter going to the Patriots. He's a great player. He plays both sides of the ball. I doubt that that's going to be possible consistently at the next level. However, Travis Hunter is a game changer on both sides. So if the Patriots just want to get themselves a dynamic playmaker and then figure out where next, not going to disagree. At the same time, I do think he would play a similar role to Pop Douglas maybe. I do like the idea of being able to develop him and just use him wherever you want, but there's a lot of young receivers on that team that I don't think you need to add Travis Hunter as a receiver. And based on the payment structure, wide receiver 23, corner 4, get paid the same. Shedeur Sanders goes at 2 to the Browns. I send Shedeur to the Browns. I usually just wait to the second just because, a lot of people push quarterback up. I try my best not to because I do think there's a certain point in the NFL where we have a lot of developmental guys. We have some old guys having their resurgences. Maybe we might see a year where the foot's taken a little bit off the gas pedal. But Shedeur Sanders moved up my QB rankings. I'm just hoping that the negative plays aren't so negative. He needs to watch out for his depth of drop as well because it gets pretty brutal when you're 11 yards behind where you initially were on the line of scrimmage. But regardless, Shedeur Sanders, he definitely has shown that the high-end plays are some of the best in the class. Then you got Will Johnson to the Jaguars at 3. I ended up making a trade for him to move up with Jacksonville to 1 to select him. He's a little banged up right now, but still one of the best players, if not the best player in the country. Then you got Cam Ward to the Jaguars. Jaguars, Jesus. See, my brain's still recovering. To the Panthers at pick number 4. I don't think Cam Ward has proven that he's worth a top 5 selection, but he's proven that the ceiling is there. Jesus, man. I'm having a rough start, aren't I? He's worth a top 5 selection, but regardless, like the talent's certainly there. It just depends if the Panthers do believe that Cam Ward's style fits them best. I think there's a lot of quarterbacks that could end up actually having a really solid value overall, that you could end up getting a lot better down the board for significantly less. Of course, it's the one position that you don't usually like to settle on. And then at pick number 5, you got Will Campbell to the Rams. If you really believe that his arm length can keep him at a tackle, you see where I think of him. He's the second best player on my board that is not out for the year. Then you have Tetairoa McMillan at 6 to the Titans, a perfect replacement for DeAndre Hopkins. I just personally think continue fixing the offensive line is a smarter move, but I'm not going to fully shame you if you go that route. Then you got Mason Graham at pick 7 to the Jets. A defensive interior is a position that they always continue to look to improve upon. Having someone next to Quinnen is a great idea. Pick number 8, you got James Pierce going to the Bengals. Not the size of edge rusher that the Bengals ever go after necessarily. If you actually look at what they prefer and what starts on their team, not if you want Nick Scorton here, I think that would be the far better move. So 243 just doesn't work for Cincinnati. Then Luther Burden goes to the Saints. He's had a pretty slow year this year. I was notoriously lower on Luther than the rest of the community. Not going to call that a win because honestly, the reason I didn't think he was a bad player by any stretch. I thought his work ethic wasn't necessarily 100%, but I still thought of him on a Deontay Johnson level of talent, which to me is like that late first, early second. And that's where he's at right now. But, it sucks because seeing a really good football player is a lot more enjoyable than being right about receivers. Receivers are very tricky because there's so many factors. Same thing with quarterback when it comes to system. Mikel Williams goes, or Michael Williams. It depends on whoever the hell says his name. We'll go to Michael again. Michael Williams goes to the Cardinals at pick 10. Getting edge rushing help is great. Mel Kiper ended up saying a couple days ago that he thinks Williams is going to be pretty much a top 5 lock based on the fact that he has insane athleticism traits and he's just going to be a better pro than he is in college. I'm not there just yet, but I do know that Georgia is not maximizing his potential, and it's pretty obvious this year. Then you got Carson Beck going to the Raiders at 11. He has not played like he should be taken at pick number 11 this year. He's had his halves where he looks like he could, but in terms of full game resume, I'm not seeing it at the moment. It's a good pick for the Raiders if it's in the second, though. It's a good, solid foundation with a little bit better than what they already have in Minshew. Then you got Quinn Ewers to the Giants at pick 12. If I have Brian Dable, I'm going after the guy with the most potential talent. Quinn Ewers is certainly up there, but I personally, as you guys know, love Milroad to the Giants. Then we have Kelvin Banks going at 13 to the Miami Dolphins. You're probably going to kick him to guard. Perfectly fine with that. You have Abdul Carter going at 14 to the Seahawks. Hello. It's going to the Seahawks. And the way he's played this year certainly would make him well worth that 14th overall selection. He's still due for a reevaluation from me. Supposed to be this past week, but you guys, again, if you guys haven't checked out already, you guys know what happened. You don't even have to go over to the Twitter. You can literally just look at my YouTube community post, and you guys will get a good picture of what the hell is going on. Very grateful not to be wearing a neck brace at the moment, but it is a little bit stiff. But let's continue on. Abdul Carter is a great player. I don't really think it's a primary issue for the Seahawks to address remotely, but sometimes going best player available is, the best thing that you can do. Jonah Savania goes to the Broncos at 15. This makes no sense to me. You're going to be kicking a raw right tackle to left tackle, and it doesn't make sense to me. You have a tackle at right tackle you're paying a significant portion of your funds to, and that doesn't add up. Then you got Ashton Genty at 16. He's someone who I absolutely adore. Everybody adores. I mean, who the hell doesn't adore this guy? This guy's an absolute freak show. Like, straight up 10 yards per carry, like this late into the season is insane. 18 touch. I didn't even realize he had 18 touchdowns. He is well deserving of a top 5 selection. Like right now, I have Marcus Bowe will luckily be reevaluated. I love the guy to death. Again, nothing personal against him, but having somebody consistently as top 5 when I know he's not, it is relieving to be able to have him slip a little bit. And I still think he could end up being top 32, but we're going to see how he performed versus Georgia this past week because it's already happened, but I want to be able to break it down in all 22, which haven't had any Purdue tape this year for the offense. But Ashton Genty, regardless, is worth a top 5 selection. This is my dream fit for him. Nick Scorton goes to the Eagles at 17. It's not a Vic Fangio type of player. You'd be kicking him to the inside on certain reps. It just doesn't fit the defense. If you swapped James Pierce and Nick Scorton, this would fit a lot more with the defensive systems. You got Deone Walker going to the Bears at pick 18. Deone is a very high ceiling player with a good foundation and run support, but super high pad level, ends up on his tush a little bit too much, needs to develop, but the Bears are a spot that you do have time to develop a player like that. I would say maybe round 2, you could discuss it. Then you got Ben Morrison at pick 19 to the Colts, even out for the entire year with a hip injury. I still think he'd be well worth pick 19. I highly doubt he comes out. So speaking of someone who I highly doubt comes out, Cam Williams, I think he might end up trying to push because I have him going in the top 10, but I'm not seeing many other people have him go in the top 10. Cam Williams, I graded him, and for the player he is right now, he's probably worth a late first, maybe a second round pick. But knowing how raw he is, because this is his first year starting, and seeing how much he's progressed already in a short period of time, one can only imagine that this would at least continue to a small degree, and he's easily worth a top 5, top 10 selection. Just great build overall. I highly doubt that he comes out, but if he does, the Niners would be an unbelievable destination. You got Colson Loveland at pick 21. Great fit, obviously, going back to Harbaugh. Not going to be against it. Jalen Walker goes to the Buccaneers. A great system fit. I don't like the idea that they're talking about linebackers here, though. I like the idea. So, okay, I appreciate this. Accomplished pass rusher, relatively inexperienced in the off-ball role. He is not inexperienced in the off-ball role. That is something that is kind of a lie. He's more inexperienced as a pass rusher. I feel like you could almost swap the two because Jalen Walker has been pretty much a big tweener and has played arguably more consistently as a starting linebacker than he has as a starting edge rusher. But he's a great player, works very well as an edge rusher there for Tampa. Tyler Booker, it's a move I made plenty of times for the Baltimore Ravens. I saw the B and instantly switched. But I would personally be going after Arianti Urzuri because you have that pure tackle. You have a guaranteed tackle, pretty much guaranteed tackle end goal. The lights at the end of the tunnel there. Tyler Booker, you're going to have to project to see if he can be a tackle. To be able to replace Ronnie Stanley, even though technically Ronnie Stanley is already up for a contract, my goal would be try to get Ronnie back for a short-term contract and then develop the other guys. Kenneth Grant to the Packers, you're taking the highest ceiling player. Not going to disagree with that at all. Walter Nolan to the Bills, it's a defensive interior to the Bills. It's a key position to target, and Walter Nolan's been having a great year. He's one of the guys who's very, very, very due for, he's very overdue for a reanalysis. So good on him. He's been doing a fantastic job. I've been not shy with keeping him in the first round. Emory Jones is not a tackle, unfortunately. He just let up 9 pressures this past week. And we'll see how he does this week. But whenever I see a tackle let up 6 pressures or more, it almost guarantees that they're going to struggle initially in the NFL as a tackle. And if you have more than 6 pressures ever in a game, and especially like for me, if you have more than 4 pressures, I really question whether you can be consistently an offensive tackle in the NFL. Just because college talent should not be able to beat you that consistently. That means Emory Jones is not a bad player, but I think he's a pure guard. So I don't really believe that he should be the starting right tackle when right now he's having some big struggles there at LSU. Malachi Starks goes at pick 27 for the Steelers. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with this because of the fact that you can use him in a rotation. Well, he's going to pretty much be a DeMonte KZ role, and then Beanie Bishop. You have a good rotation there. You're just going best player available. It's not like the ideal pick for the Steelers, but it's certainly a new idea that I'm perfectly fine with because of how damn good he is. Donovan Jackson goes at pick 28 to the Lions. It's a pick I've made before. I'm perfectly fine with it. Emeka Ibuka at pick 29 for the Falcons. Getting after receiver help, never a bad idea. People complain that going after wide receiver in the first consistently is not a good idea for the Falcons. However, if you look at what the organization has spent the high draft capital and high dollar amount on, it is offense. And then they try to support it with value on defense. So hopefully this will end up at least paying dividends because Emeka is a very talented receiver when healthy. Tyleik Williams to the Texans is a pick I make all the time. Boost that defensive interior, baby. Then you got pick 31 for the Chiefs. You got Tacario Davis. He has not played like a first-round pick this year. I do like the fact they label him as a defensive back. He might end up having to be a safety. And then, why? I love Denzel Burke with all my heart. He is somebody who I have starred here. If you guys are new, you actually don't even see it, but he's my 19th player. But anybody who has a star next to their name is due reevaluation that I believe will drop. And obviously, after getting destroyed versus Oregon, you just can't call yourself a first-round pick. There's no NFL corner that could ever allow 172 yards in a game versus not elite NFL talent and still call themselves a first-round pick. Most of the time, if you do that, you're getting benched and probably not going to be getting a starting role again. Denzel has bounced back several times in his career, and I'm hoping he continues to do so. At the moment, it's very, very scary to see where Denzel is at. But if you swap Denzel with Davison Igbinosun, I think I'd be very, very supportive of the pick. So that's going to be the video. Thank you so much for watching. Show me the love that you guys continuously do. I can already feel it in my head. It's time to sign off. It's time to log off. I love you. See you on the far side. Peace.